Welcome back, nice, to a new episode of Catching Up on the School Tea with Lee. Catching Up on the School Tea with Lee. And I missed you guys so much. The episode that y'all see before this is a pre-recorded episode. I have not been recording for about 2 weeks. I missed you guys so much. And yes, I'm still recording. We're still in production. Like, this is going to go on for the whole year. So I'm happy to see you guys. And of course, as you guys can see, we do have a special guest today. So I won't do too much talking. Let's invite her. Let's give a lap roll for her. It's nice to see you again because we already recorded an episode before, but sadly it got lost. But I'm happy to see you again.
Yeah, happy to see you too, always.
Yeah, how's your day going so far? Or morning?
So far, it's a little busy, but I got good vibes. It's a Friday. Like, I'm looking forward to the weekend.
Yes, me too. I need rest. I'm tired.
Regroup, right? Yeah.
Yes, senior year has been amazing. But who are you for the students that don't know who you are?
So, I am Miss Wilson. I am the school counselor. So, in short. So, any, like, behavioral health needs, any, like, career or college counseling, or any future counseling, you can come to me and talk about it. So my door is usually open, okay, if I'm not too busy. So I always welcome people to swing by and say hi.
Okay, amazing. Well, you already answered what you do around the school, so I don't gotta ask you. Okay, so let's get into the questions. And you can feel free to ask me questions too. Like, I want all my guests to know. You can ask me questions too if you want to.
Yes, so okay then. So senior year, you said it's been going good. Okay,
Yeah.
So what's the best part of it so far?
The best part, honestly, is just the podcast part. Like, the podcast part, cheerleading. Like, yeah, those is the best parts. Like, this is something new for me. Like, doing a podcast is definitely something new for me. And it's just so exciting. Like, every time I feel like I get on camera, it just does glow. And I'm just like, oh my God.
It's a glow. You got the glow.
I'm like, oh my God, I'm actually doing this for real. Like, yeah. I be so, I don't know, every time I just get happy. Like, it really fills me. So, yeah.
Well, I have to say I've been enjoying the episodes myself, okay? It's been like really like getting my spirit together too whenever I see it. So I'm like, okay, we have some things in common. So
that makes me happy. Yeah, I don't want to lose viewers because I haven't been recording in a little minute. And Mr. Burns said something to me that stuck. He said, well, gotta keep recording so you can keep your viewers. I'm like,
okay, see people watching.
Yeah, they definitely are. Okay, so let's get into your question.
Okay.
So, how long have you been here for at Strawberry Mansion?
So, I love that you asked that question because this is my first year here at Strawberry Mansion. What is it? August when the school year started. So, where we at? November? Oh, yeah, about three solid months, pretty much.
Good.
Yeah.
Been good.
Okay.
Have you seen change in Strawberry Mansion since you first started working here?
So I will say that, the only thing I could go off of is feedback from staff and feedback from students, right? Because I don't really know what the experience was like from the previous counselors. But, so far the feedback is good. I've been building a rapport, and that's what's important to me, right? Especially the first year. Getting into the swing of like what working here looks like and what the needs are, so maybe, to each his own. Hopefully good.
Okay. So what did you go to college for?
Okay, so I actually have a bachelor's and master's degree in social work. Okay. And then after that, it like prepared me to get my license. So I am like a licensed social worker. So definitely the passion for helping people and giving out resources and behavioral and mental health experience. That is my skill set, I would say.
Yeah, me too. I love helping people, but like, what is social working though? Because like, I don't really have like a huge understanding on like what it is.
Man, that is a loaded question, okay? Because social work is so broad. So as you can see, obviously, I'm working in a school, right? So I can give resources and support to students and families, okay? But prior to this, I was a social worker at the state hospital. So, mental health and, individuals in the criminal justice system, right? So totally different. I did internship at the Philadelphia Senior Center, so I was working with older people, like, so it's just very diverse. But I like that social work, you can work with, you know, many different people, many different ages, and again, like, provide support and help based on what their current needs are, if that makes sense. So yeah,
Okay.
the broadest way I can
That
explain
sounds
it.
good.
hmm
So, what's the worst mistake you ever made, and how did you learn to forgive yourself?
Ooh, wow. So like ever in life, or like in my work, like where
Ever
are we
in
talking?
life.
But I'll think about a lesson learned, okay? Because I will say this one thing about mistakes, right? It's about how you recover from
Yeah.
those mistakes,
Yeah.
okay? So a lesson learned that I had was when I was working at the state hospital, and there was a patient who had been there for years, like years, like before I was born years, okay? But he didn't have like any like family, you know, that was like documented. And let's say, long story short, he ends up getting like sick to the point where he was like about to die, okay? And in that instance, you know, because, you know, when you're like about to pass away, you want to make sure your family is there to support you and like sign off on things. You know, it was like I didn't have a record of that. So, you know, I just did what social workers do. We tap in and help and find other resources. And so in that instance, because I knew he was a veteran, you know, I was like, you know what? I know that veterans get free resources and they can be buried for free. Like, let me just like set those things up for him. But all of a sudden, the Secretary of the State contacted the state hospital to speak to the CEO and was like, we have a family who like just contacted us saying that they just found out that their brother died and no one reached out to them. And I'm like, what? Because, you know, I had no record of a brother or a family member, excuse me, for this patient. And I made plans already for his funeral. So, in that instance, you know, the CEO was just like, what steps did you take, you know, to like do it? So now one thing about me is I keep notes of everything, okay? So I said, I did this, I did that, you know, I had a whole record of who I spoke to and when. But, you know, and I ended up speaking to the sister for this patient who, you know, like was still happy. Like she looked at the good part of the fact that, you know, I set things up the way that I did. But I will say that from that experience, I like fought harder to like find patient families, you know, like in the instance where they don't have any support on record, you know. And just because he was there a long time ago and there was no record, I could have digged a little deeper, you know. But again, learning experience for me because, you know, I made that a priority for any other patient who came in the door.
That's
So yeah, that to me, like I said, mistake but learning lesson, kind of
Yeah.
sort of.
That's
It was a
great.
lot.
That's good. I feel like with me, it's definitely like, I wouldn't say that it's the worst mistake in life, but for me, it would definitely be like speaking up when speaking is due. Because although everybody seems they like, oh yeah, like I definitely speak my mind, but like it was certain instances where I could have spoke up and I could have advocated for my own self, and that's exactly why when I get on here, like I make it so known for other people to advocate for themselves, because you do not want somebody to walk all over you. You got to be able to set boundaries with people and tell them like, no, I can't do that. You got to be able to tell like your teachers or a student like, you disrespected me, you made me feel some type of way, and like be able
That's
to
good.
actually like, you know, communicate with those people, even if they don't understand where you're coming from, or even if you feel as though you're not heard, at least you spoke up about it. They can't say that you didn't speak up about it in a
Right.
respectful way, because your teachers will respect you for that. When I tell my teachers like I didn't like what you did, or I tell them like, oh, like how you're teaching me, I'm not really understanding, like when I tell them in a respectful way, they actually like, I feel like they actually appreciate me more for that.
I love that. Come on, self-advocacy. Listen, that's going to be important. That's such an important skill, like you said, that you're luckily learning now. But when you become an adult, whew, you have to be able to do the same thing, advocate for yourself. So this is good.
That's so real.
Love this for you. Okay.
How serious is mental health, and how serious should people take it?
Man, it's so serious. It is so serious. So I would say it's the wellspring of who you are, right? Meaning, I'm going to react based off of what is going on in my brain and in my body, right? But again, so making sure that we're stable, right? It is important. So I think self-awareness is very important too when you think of mental health. So, for example, if I had a long day, okay, and I've been like processing everything that's going on with the day, I might go home and do some self-care, okay, because I know that that's gonna like gear me up for the next day, okay. But on the contrary, if I didn't tap into the self-care when I knew I was overwhelmed, then it might take a toll on my brain, you know what I mean, and then I might shut down. So it's very important. It plays into like how you interact with other people too, you know. So it's important.
Yeah, it definitely is important, and I feel like even me as a student, I'm learning how to understand mental health on a different type of level, because like I know that I want to help people, so I feel like I need to understand them, and I need to understand that not everybody receives things the same.
Yeah.
So that's why when I talk to like different age brackets, like when I talk to the 9th graders, 10th graders and stuff like that, like I go about it differently.
Yes.
Like I don't present them with the same thing because they don't all receive the same thing the same. And I wouldn't want to put nobody in a predicament where it's like I'm the cause to like their mental health, or I'm the cause to them like, you know, being depressed or like angry or something like that, but I'm able to show up for them in an effective way.
And if we want to just add to that too, to your point, you know, being able to communicate with people based on like where they are, right? Because mental brain, right? You know, so how people's brains develop at certain ages is just different. Yeah. So some things that, you know, behaviors that, you know, a 9th grader, 10th grader are going through might look different for a 12th grader whose brain is more developed than theirs are. So you're right. Like understanding all those things and how it affects you is important.
Exactly. Do you think that mental health has something to do with like what a person is going through at home?
I think that all those things can affect someone's mental health, you know. So what's happening at home, like if you're sick in your body, honestly, you know, even that affects your mental health. I'm big on like understanding environments, you know, like the city you're in, you know what I mean, the school you're in. All those things can make it impact you. Yes.
Yeah,
for
right.
sure.
And actually looking into those resources, like there's a lot of people that, like a lot of staffs, teachers that that will support you, as Strawberry mentioned. Like, you know, a lot of people sometimes they don't like speaking up because they feel as though they need to have it all together. Like, oh well, especially when they were put in that predicament where it's like they maybe had to like take care of like their siblings, or they may had to like, you know, grow up and be an adult. It's like they feel as though they can't come to somebody else because they have to have their lives together, and you know, they just can't, they feel like they can't trust people on that level. But I'm telling you that you can trust people on that level, and you will be able to. The more and more you have conversations with teachers, staff, the more and more they make you feel open and welcome to like expressing like what you're going through. Like nobody's perfect. Like everybody has their own things that they're going through. You just have to look for the resources that are specifically targeted to like you and what you need in that specific season of your life.
You got it. Like that is on point. Okay, like you said, build a trusting relationship, whether that is, like you said, staff, you know, a friend, and sometimes it is seeking out professional help. Okay, like, hey, ding, ding, ding. At one point, even I went through therapy myself, you know, and that was helpful for me. I'm like, oh, okay. So that's why me and my mom have this situation. Okay. You know, so it's like, it helps you understand yourself better. So like you said, your interactions with other people are healthier.
Right. Because imagine talking to like a therapist, and like your therapist is having this conversation with you, and then like you're healing, you're becoming a better person. Now you're able to show up for other people.
Yes.
And that's the way that your therapist showed up.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's a wrap to the questions. Let's get to the advice part. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So what is your advice for people that are struggling with depression?
Okay, I think a lot of what we're saying right now is like super on point. Like, try to find a safe person, okay? A safe space to talk about what you're feeling, okay? Honestly, find an activity that helps you cope with what you're feeling. I know I'm big on sketching personally, okay? So, and that like gives me peace, okay? It redirects my brain. I'm not thinking about all the stressors or whatever. So for me, you know, that works. I like music, you know, I listen to music, I practice the bass, you know what I mean? Like, those are the things. But either way, just don't stay stuck in the state of mind. Don't stay isolated when you're feeling that way.
Right.
And hey, even if it's just coming to school and speaking to the counselor, I am here. I'm open.
Yeah, that's so real. And can I just add on to that? Add on to like you saying like find a hobby and stuff like that. So that's so like finding a hobby to do, and it's like it's easier said than done when it comes down to like not isolating yourself when like you're going through depression and you're going through different things. Because I know with me, I have a hard time with not isolating myself when I don't want to be like, or when I'm upset. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, I have a hard time not isolating myself when I'm upset. And sometimes it is not needed. Like, not saying that I have to be around people. Of course, it is definitely amazing when you take time away from other people.
Right.
And, like, just figure out what you're going through, figure out your own emotions. But also, I have to understand when I'm isolating myself, and that's not necessary because I have responsibilities. Like, I can't just get in my feelings and, like, oh, I'm feeling this type of way, and then lay in bed all day. Like, God be telling me, like, girl, no, you got to get up and you got to keep going. You got to keep fighting. Like, you be telling me, girl, I brought you too far. You can't give up now.
Come on. Talk about it.
He reminds me. I be like, you know what, God? You absolutely right. What you mean? Let me get up. Hold on.
Let me get up.
I'm a soldier for real. Wait. Hold on. I was just crying last night, but that's okay. I feel good today.
And you know something that makes me think about when I was like going through basic military training, right? I never forget just being so hard on myself about like some of the physical training, and running has never really been my thing. Okay, but we pressed through. Okay, but either way, I would be running. And I'm like, oh, so tired. And my brain was like, you know what, girl, just stop and walk for a second. But I was like, you know what, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me.
Yes,
come on. So, no, seriously, like I like kept repeating that verse or whatever, and it like helped me run faster or whatever.
Yes.
So those things and like training your brain to like overcome, the state of mind where you just want to stay still and do nothing. It takes practice, but
yes, because you are needed. You are needed. Like, people think that like, oh yeah, like they don't play a part, and sometimes people get caught up in like what role do I play here on earth? Like, what am I supposed to be doing right now? They feel as though they're not doing as much, or maybe they're doing too much and stuff like that. And I understand personally, because I thought like this multiple times. Like, maybe I'm doing too much. Maybe I'm doing too less. Where do I play a part at in this world? Because I know that I want to change this world. That part. And you play a huge part just as the person that you are. Just what you bring to the table. Like, people be like, oh, when somebody say, if somebody gives somebody else an opportunity that I want, I be like, listen, that just wasn't for me. It wasn't for me. That wasn't for me then, because I know what I'm bringing to the table. It ain't me. I'm bringing God to this table. So it's like, it ain't nothing. You go ahead and keep that. That's okay. And I'm still able to be happy for that person.
Yeah,
like, so you just gotta sometimes just take a deep breath, take a step back, invite God into your life. Like, and give him a chance. Like,
and I'll say, me, look, okay, I'm right there with you. God is my higher power. But, I want other people to realize, tap into what gives you a source of power, right? And that's fine. But what gives you the strength? What empowers you? What can you do to, recenter yourself?
Right. Yeah, because especially as like a believer, I'm very like big on like respect and stuff like that. Respecting other people and like where they came from. Not forcing what I believe in on other people. Like, not making you feel as though what you're doing is just, oh, it's terrible. No, you do what's best for you. You do what's best for you.
I love it. Yes.
But I thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me a second time around. But thank you.
It took forever. It took forever, but that is okay.
It's
I'm
okay.
so happy that you came. Cheers.
Stay encouraged, girl.
Yes, thank you. You too. And everyone that's watching, you stay encouraged. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys on the next episode. Bye.